All right. So first, I'll introduce myself. So I'm Kate, and I'm an English teacher from the US, and my website is Confident Communication. And how about you introduce yourself, Natalie?
So, hey, my name is Natalie. I'm Brazilian, and I have an Instagram account. It's called Teacher Nathaly R. R stands for Rodriguez. And I also started a YouTube channel. So it's called Teacher Nathaly,
Hmm.
Natalie with
Yeah,
TH.
we'll definitely put the link in the blog post so you guys can
Oh,
find it. Yeah.
perfect.
Hmm. Okay, so we're just gonna have a little interview today and talk about life as in a different country, how it is. So I guess the first question is why did you move to the US and where are you from? You already said that, but
Yeah, I can make it more specific.
yeah.
So I'm from Brazil, and I'm originally from Recife,
Uh-huh.
which is located in the northeast part of Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I moved to the United States because I married my husband, who is American.
Okay.
Yeah, we married this year, March this year, and yeah, moving here was an easier option because he already has a job here, and he's
Right.
not fluent in Portuguese. So
Oh.
yeah.
Okay, that's good. Did you always want to have you been to the United States before at all?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I first came in 2016 to visit him.
Okay,
So we
yeah.
met in 2015, and we were, dating long distance for this whole time.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. And
That's
I
cool.
I first came here, yeah, it was 2016, but I went to Texas because he is from Texas.
Mhm.
And then I came again in 2017. And this time I spent a semester in the University of Texas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then I went back to Brazil and stayed there and finally came here January this year and like moving here.
Right. That's cool. Were you doing like a exchange program or how did you get to study a semester
Mhm.
there?
Yeah. So that was actually right after I graduated.
Okay.
I majored in English,
Uh-huh.
and it was an idea that both of us had. Like my husband and I, he was my boyfriend still like
Right.
that time. We thought that we could, try to spend more time together before we got married, because he was, always long distance,
Right.
and he graduated like the end of that year, and I had graduated in the middle of the year. So we planned, like we saved money and I applied for a program. So I wasn't really like doing like a major.
Right.
Um, it was a program in the ESL department called
Ah,
Academic
cool.
English Program. Yeah,
Nice. That's really
yeah.
cool.
I did that for like a semester and it was a really cool experience.
Nice. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long have you been here and how long do you plan to stay?
Okay, so I've been here for almost 5 months.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, I'm not sure. Like I feel like I'm gonna live here for for a long time.
Yeah.
I am not sure if we'll maybe go back to Brazil someday. Maybe I don't know, it's I have no
Never
idea.
know, right? Yeah.
We never know. So
I feel like you haven't been here for too long, really. 5 months is
yeah.
like a short time.
Yeah, it
So
is.
I think maybe as you stay here, maybe in the future you will be like, oh, let's move somewhere else. I don't
Yeah. Yeah, I never know.
know. Right. Okay. And I think I know the answer to this question, but I'll ask you anyway.
Okay.
Did you know English before coming? Can you describe
Yes.
your journey learning English?
Yeah, sure. So When I came here like this year, I already spoke English, like I already knew English. The
Mhm.
first time I came here though, 2016, I, I was like fluent, but I still had some, I don't know, I had a hard time. It was the
Yeah.
first time I came.
Right.
I was used to talking to him, like,
Mhm.
all the time
Yeah.
on Skype, and I was used to his English. But when I came here, I felt like I didn't speak English
Yeah.
because it was like, what? Wait a minute,
Mhm.
that's not what I'm used to.
Right. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
totally different. Even if you talk to someone, but maybe he was kind of trying to make it easier for you, like he
yeah,
was adjusting how
yeah.
he's
I'm pretty sure.
talking. Yeah.
Yeah,
So when you talk to like a stranger, you're like, oh my gosh, what's this?
yes, yeah. I think like I spent a few weeks here in 2016, and I remember like my first week, I'd be like, I had to concentrate so hard.
Right.
And I'd kind of like understand by the context and keywords,
Mhm. Yeah.
because I was like, they speak so fast.
Right. Mhm. Yeah, if
And
you're
it's
not used to it.
funny, yeah, it's funny because I was already teaching English, like an internship
Hmm.
in college. And I was kind of like, I was very used to the British accent because all of our materials were British English.
Okay.
So
Uh-huh.
it was very hard for me.
It's different to come to the US. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
people here have different accents too, like
Hmm.
especially if you went to Texas,
Yeah,
they have like a southernish accent,
yeah,
twangy accent.
yeah, y'all. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So, it's hard to understand.
Yeah, yeah. You asked me about my learning journey, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
when did you start learning English or
yeah. I'll make it very brief because
Okay.
I actually have two videos on YouTube, part
Okay.
one and part two.
Okay.
It's a long story, but I'm gonna make it really brief. Like, we had English in school
Mhm.
in Brazil, although when I was little, it was only mandatory like from fifth grade on. Nowadays, it's mandatory for like kindergarten too, and that
Okay.
that was when I started studying English. But by the time I finished high school, I wasn't fluent. I had a pretty good like foundation, like grammar,
Right.
vocabulary, but
Mhm.
I couldn't speak like at all.
Yeah.
And then, but I wanted to be an English teacher, so I decided
Okay.
to go to like an English to major in English.
Uh-huh.
And funny story, like in the university, they actually didn't really teach English. It was like for you to learn to teach English. So
Oh.
most people were fluent already. So
Mhm.
I had to do a lot of self study.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was
Okay.
crazy. I almost gave
Yeah.
up, but I survived.
That's good. You made it. Yeah.
Yeah, and after I met my husband, I learned so much more.
Right.
Because
Mhm.
yeah, talking to him and trying to copy his accent sometimes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, just talking to someone more often helps a lot.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
I'm still learning something new every day.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's an important point, Even though you know English, it's like you still learn things. You know, I say I know Portuguese, but I learn new words in Portuguese all the time?
yeah,
So,
yeah. Even me, I learn Portuguese words all the time.
yeah, exactly. Even if you're a native speaker, you
Yeah.
can learn new words. So, it's not like you just learn English and then you're done.
Hmm.
So, that's a good point.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. The next question, what do you think was the biggest culture shock for you during the first few months of living here?
Okay. So, I think probably I feel like life here is so much faster than back in Brazil. Like,
Okay.
um,
I can
I don't
see it.
know. I think like things are very fast. Like, people have a really short lunch, and a sandwich, and then
Yeah.
let's go to work, and let's do this. And you go to like to a fast food restaurant, and next, okay,
Right.
and then you have to say what you want, and you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I feel
very
like,
fast paced.
yeah, exactly. That's the word. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's very fast paced. I think it was like a cultural shock because every time I wanted to order something, I'd be like, oh man, I froze. I don't know
Right.
what I want because it was
Yeah.
everything so fast.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think there was a date. I cried so much
Oh
because
no.
that was like right when I came here. We had a very bad snowstorm that was in January, and it was pretty bad. Like my husband's car, he was like all almost
Covered.
covered in snow,
Yeah.
and he still had to go to work. And I was like, really, you have to go to work? And he's like, I don't have a choice. And
Right.
I'm like, if I were in Brazil, people would cancel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just crying. I was
Oh.
staying. Yeah, by that time I was staying with someone else at someone else's house,
Uh-huh.
and he was there too that morning. And I was just like, you don't have to go to work. And this lady, she was saying, I'm so sorry, dear, but that's how things are here. And she told me that there was a day she had to go to work even though she was like feeling nauseous, like throwing up, and she had to go to work. And I was
Hmm.
like, no, this is a crime.
Yeah. I feel like it's true. It like we work a lot. Americans work a lot, but it's not always a good thing, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So that was a cultural shock too. I cried so much. I was like, you don't have to go to work. And I
right.
was just like, I'm not, you know what? When I get my work permit, I'm going to be my own boss. I'm not
Yeah.
going to work for anybody here.
Yeah. You can work from home. That's the easiest part.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, then you don't have to drive in the snow at least.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point though. I didn't think about this. I didn't think this is what you were going to say actually. So,
Oh, really?
that's interesting. Yeah. But it makes sense. I feel like Brazilians are more like laid back. Like when
Yeah.
I was in Brazil, I felt like there was a holiday like every week. I was like nobody ever goes to work.
Yeah,
So, I don't know. It's funny.
exactly.
Yeah, I can see it. So that's interesting. All right. What would you do differently if you could go back and prepare to move again?
Well, I think so. I didn't have like a lot of cultural shocks. Maybe this was my only cultural shock, but I
Hmm.
had no idea I was gonna feel like so homesick. And
Oh,
what I
yeah.
could do differently, maybe I should have brought more Brazilian food in my luggage because I was afraid they would say, no, you can't bring this.
Yeah.
But I think there's certain kinds of food that you can bring. And yeah, I don't know. I should have. Do you know couscous? It's kind of like it's a Brazil,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm from Recife, and we eat that a lot.
Okay.
And I like, oh, I miss that.
Yeah.
I should have brought some in my luggage.
Right,
'Cause
right.
here where I live, there are not many Brazilians around here, and whenever I go to these other stores that they have food from other countries, there's
Yeah.
never like a Brazilian thing.
Oh, I
At least
know.
here, yeah, I know in other places, like if you live in Florida, there are many Brazilians there, and you can find Brazilian supermarkets. But
Yeah.
here, it's like I don't know. I've never met any Brazilian that lives here, like in La Crosse. I know, like
Right.
in Wisconsin, but where I live, I haven't met any Brazilians yet. So
Yeah, there aren't too many. I think
yeah,
most people stay either in, the like bigger cities or
yeah,
like California, Florida, New
yeah,
York.
yeah.
So yeah, it's hard to find things if you're
Mm,
not there.
yeah. So that's what I would do differently if
Okay.
I could go back.
Right. Yeah. And maybe just, I don't know, prepare yourself for homesickness, but I don't know how you would do that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe just bring more things from home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much had to decide my life in 2 suitcases.
Yeah, I know. That's hard.
Yeah, it was so hard.
Well, okay. You can always take a trip to like Philadelphia. There's a good Brazilian market there.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Come visit me
Nice.
and we can go.
Oh, perfect. Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite thing about United States slash American culture?
Well, so one thing that I feel I don't know, I like it about people here. I don't know much about other places like
Yeah.
here in Wisconsin and where I live in La Crosse. Um, I feel people have like a such a good sense of like community. People do everything to make the community better. Like they do
Hmm.
fundraising to improve a park, or I don't know. People are so like encouraging, like
Uh-huh.
encourage others so much. And in Brazil, we love relationships and people, but I don't feel like that we take so much care of our neighborhood.
Right. Hmm.
Like, oh, adopt a highway.
Right.
It's I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we had this flooding thing, and then a lot of people come and volunteer, and
Hmm.
we have that in Brazil, but it's not as strong as it is in here.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, since I came here, like I've done so many like different kinds of volunteering work because I
Really?
had a lot of free
That's
time.
good.
I can't
Okay.
work yet, so I'm
Right.
like finding things to do. And
Yeah.
I've been to so many places already. There are always opportunities to volunteer.
Hmm.
And in Brazil, maybe it's something that's still like growing in our culture, I'd say.
Right.
um I don't know like the cause what causes this,
Yeah.
but um yeah, like whenever I did something like volunteering work, my grandma'd be like, oh, you're not getting paid, like why were you doing this for?
Right.
Like, because when you go to college there, you don't need to show volunteering works. You can only, it's just like your grade, your
Oh,
national
yeah.
exam,
Hmm.
so we don't really have that
Like culture of.
appreciation.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I really like this about like Americans.
Yeah, it is good. And that's a good way if someone was coming here like you say, sometimes you can't work or whatever. Maybe that's a good way to meet people, to get out of the
Mhm.
house, to speak
Yeah,
English to people,
exactly. Yeah,
and you're helping do
yeah,
something. So,
exactly. Yeah, and I recently found out they have a literacy council here.
oh yeah,
And
I
they,
yeah,
yeah.
I volunteered with them before.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and they always need speaking partners, and
Right, right. Hmm.
yeah, I'm still not in there yet because they're gonna do like training for new volunteers.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
thought that
cool.
was amazing.
That'll be fun. And then you can meet other people who are like from other countries too.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe
absolutely.
you'll find some Brazilians.
Yeah, hopefully.
I don't know. Yeah, I think that's good. It is good because there are lots of free things you can do here to like help the community. So I
Yes.
think it's true. I like
Mhm.
your answer.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Um, so what do you think is the biggest difference between Brazilian culture and US culture? That's
Okay.
a tough question.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, it's I don't know. I feel like maybe what I had said in the beginning, um, you know, um like a fast-paced culture,
Right.
and um I don't know if I could say this word, like maybe American culture in my opinion is a lot like task oriented. Like I don't know, like we have a meeting and then we go there on time, and we talk
Right.
about what we have to talk about, and everybody goes home. And
Hmm.
in Brazil, sometimes, okay, we're having a meeting to discuss this, and then, hey, how's your uncle? How's your grandma? How's your dog? And we start
Yeah.
talking. then we spend 2 hours
Yeah.
in the meeting, and sometimes we don't even discuss what you're supposed to do. Oh, let's do it some other day.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that Brazilians are not focused or
Right.
that Americans are so serious, but um, I feel like here there's more like this concern, like I want to be objective and
Like getting things done, like,
yeah,
at a certain time, or I don't
exactly.
know, because here people are like, time is money, so we don't
Yeah,
have time. Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
time is money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that
yeah.
is true though. And I mean, where you're from, North Brazil is, I've heard, I haven't ever been there, but
Hmm.
I've heard that people say it's even more laid back than like
Yeah.
Rio. So
Uh-huh.
I feel like Cariocas are pretty laid back. So
Oh,
North Brazil must be extra, extra laid back.
oh yes, yes. So I lived in other states in Brazil too because my
Yeah.
dad is in the military.
Uh-huh.
So when we moved to Rio, I lived there for 2 years. I was like, life is so fast in here.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think, yeah. I don't know who told you about this, but it's true. I feel like we are more laid back,
Yeah.
like yeah, Northeast.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, my friend, she's Brazilian. She said she went to like Bahia and she was like, don't expect anybody to come quick to give you food in a restaurant or something, like
Yeah,
you better be prepared to wait.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, oh, okay.
It's true. Yeah, we have
Yeah.
those stereotypes in like Bahia. So Baianos, we say
Uh-huh.
that they're like, Baiano.
Yeah.
Hello.
Uh-huh. I don't think it's bad though, because it's kind of like a beach place, and it's
Mhm.
like I feel like when you live by the beach, you're not as stressed out,
Yeah.
so it makes sense.
Oh
You know?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I really miss the beach.
yeah, I know. I live super far. Well, it's like 4 hours. You live even
Oh,
farther, so
yeah. I have the Mississippi River Beach.
oh,
Super
yay,
cold.
yeah. I wonder if it's like, does it have sand or is it just
I
dirt?
I haven't been there yet.
Okay.
People told me about it, but they just said the water is pretty cold though.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
haven't. Yeah, I
That's
was like,
funny.
I don't want to go if the water is cold.
Yeah. Are there any aren't there like lakes by Wisconsin or something? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, there are. I still like haven't been to like a lake or because it's like warmer now, but
Right.
it was
Yeah.
cold the whole time. So I
Mhm.
haven't explored a lot, but there's some lakes, and I know they have water parks.
Oh, nice.
Wisconsin Dells, like they have.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're planning to go there next month.
Nice. That would be fun.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay. If you could change one thing about American culture, what would it be?
Okay, I'll try to explain this. It's one thing that I always tell my husband that sometimes I feel people here they feel so bad about like an awkward situation, like
Uh,
oh I'm talking to this person and I'm like I don't know what to say now. Oh this is awkward. Oh awkward. Maybe I would change that. Like like
yeah.
don't forget about awkward awkwardness. I don't know the word. But
Uh-huh.
like sometimes like I have a few friends, a few American friends, and then they're walking. Oh, this guy was looking at me. That was awkward. And this, and I was like,
Yeah, people I know what you mean, I think. It's like
yeah,
people are focused on what other people think about them.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
yeah. It's kind of like, uh, let me try to remember.
Self-conscious, kind of.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
Or I don't know if sometimes this happens to me. I'm at a supermarket and someone like bumps into me and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then I don't know, they get kind of like scared, like, "I'm so sorry." don't know if it's something from like Wisconsin or I don't know.
I
And
don't know.
yeah, like I heard this guy once like, oh, this was awkward. And I'm like,
Really?
yeah, like I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Maybe we're just conscious about
Yeah,
everything, I guess. We're not
yeah,
like I feel like you guys or I don't want to say you guys, like Brazilians in general kind of are just like more confident or more friendly, more open,
hmm
you know? So like
hmm
you don't really care what other people think of you. Maybe.
okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. Like maybe sometimes people here. One person told me that people here sometimes they don't want to show so much like their emotion. Like
Yeah. That's true.
uh, yeah, in this area here, there are a lot of people that came from Germany and Norway, and
Oh. Mhm.
yeah, it's like there are a lot of Norwegians, and they say that I don't know any Norwegian, but they're more like yeah,
Closed. Yeah.
close and don't want to. It's not that they don't like you or they just don't
Right.
want to. I don't know, trust you right away. It takes
Right.
some time, and I
Yeah.
respect that. Cultures are all different. I don't want to. I don't expect people to just hey and then give me
Yeah.
a hug. Like no,
Right. Yeah.
I'm like aware that there are limits and it's their culture, so I should respect that. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean they hate me or they're being disrespectful.
Mhm. I think that's a good point. People, if you're not used to dealing with people like that are more cold or closed or,
Yeah,
you might think that, oh, they don't like me, but they really don't not like you. They just,
yeah,
they're just not, I don't know. We're just
yeah,
not open with everybody if you don't
yeah,
know them, if you don't know someone.
yeah. It
Yeah.
takes some time.
Hmm. I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
But I do agree this is like a big difference. And I think the fact that like the same thing with Brazilian people, like when I was there, it was fine if you just like went over to somebody's house like without telling, just like drop
yes,
in their house. But here, if you do that, it's like, oh my gosh. Like I told my friend to do this. I was like, just come over anytime. And she never does. I'm like, it's okay. She's like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, she's like scared to just come over anytime.
yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. It's just
Yeah,
funny.
it's true. Yeah, when my family came here for my wedding, so we
Yeah.
all stayed here in the apartment
Oh,
where I
wow.
live, and everybody was like, "Aren't they staying in a hotel or maybe a bigger house?" And
Yeah.
I'm like, "My parents, they all want to sleep
They
in the
want to
living
stay
room."
close. Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted to stay close, and they're like, "But there's not a lot of comfort." And I'm like, "They're okay. Don't
Yeah.
worry."
Yeah, that's
So
true.
yeah, it's like it's a good thing like people care about you, like it's not that they don't want to invite you or they want to have time to plan for you to stay at their house,
Right.
for example,
Yeah.
you know.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's one thing I don't really like about American culture, so I would
Yeah.
too.
Okay. Yeah, great.
Yeah. Okay. Two more questions. Oh my
All
gosh.
right.
Have you had any experiences that made you feel like you were from here or American?
Mm. Well,
I guess
um,
good or bad, maybe.
yeah. Um, Maybe okay. I think no, yesterday. Yeah, yesterday I was volunteering with like a group of kids. They were
Oh.
like, I think their moms. They were victims of domestic violence,
Ah.
and I was just playing with them because the moms were having like a lecture about financial help or something like that, and I was just helping the kids, and it was funny because they never because usually people look at me and they're like, oh, where are you from? They
Yeah.
notice like my accent or my appearance.
Right.
And,
Hmm.
but the kids, they never said anything, and then like
Aw.
yeah, it was so cool because we played the whole time and they never like asked me like, so
Mhm.
where are you from? It
Yeah.
just felt like Well,
You're just another person.
yeah, yeah.
That's nice.
There was another day. So I had this really short conversation with a woman. I was in, I was in the church where I go here, and we were talking, and she was like, "Wait, you're Brazilian, really? Oh, you don't have a Brazilian accent. I would never guess." And I was like, "Oh," and yeah, she was like, "Really? I thought you were like maybe your parents were not from here because you look different, but I thought you were like American."
Uh,
Because we had like a really short conversation, so I think she didn't notice anything
right.
about my accent or
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, saying something wrong. And um yeah, it was like funny. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It means my English is much better now.
Maybe. I mean, I don't think it's bad at all. And I don't think you do have a heavy accent or anything. So,
Hmm. Yeah.
um, but maybe as you go, like if you stay here bit by next year, people
Yeah.
won't say anything. I don't know. You
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like what I in Brazil, I told my students all the time, don't worry about like your Brazilian accent. The most important thing is that people understand you. Of
Right.
course, if you want to sound like a native speaker, I think there's no problem with that.
Mhm.
You want to, I don't know, sound like, oh, wow, I couldn't even tell you were a foreigner. It's okay if you want to, but you
Right.
don't have to, it's not your goal,
Yeah,
you know?
I think that's true. Hmm.
And I feel like being here, sometimes it's like I'm not paying attention to it. I start, picking up the way people talk, and
Yeah.
it's
Uh-huh.
natural, you know?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
kind of like assimilate into the place where you,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Uh-huh. Okay. So if you had any advice for someone who wants to move to the US, what would you say?
Well, I actually have like a short list here.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah. So, number one, learn English.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it's so important when you travel to a place and the language, at least you have an idea of what people are talking about.
Yeah.
It's
'Cause
so hard.
I know a lot of people come here and they say they're going to practice English or they say they're going to learn, but they never do.
Exactly. Yeah, so that goes to the second tip. Don't isolate yourself,
Okay. Hmm.
because sometimes, I don't know, that happened to a friend of mine. She came here for like an exchange program in Florida, I think.
Hmm.
And there were so many Brazilians. She spoke Portuguese the whole time,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
she didn't have the chance to, to practice her English.
Hmm.
And yeah, like learn English and don't isolate yourself. Don't be afraid of people.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't talk only to Brazilian people.
yeah, exactly. Like we were saying before, if someone is like kind of like cold or not smiling at you, doesn't mean that they don't like you. It's just
Right.
because they're like cautious, they're being cautious,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I wrote here. Like tip number 3: don't judge people, but by the way they look. Like,
Hmm.
you know, if you're like, oh, nice to meet you, and someone is like not super excited, it doesn't mean that they don't like you. It's just the
Right.
way they express themselves.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's
And
good.
another thing that I would say, I did this a lot at the beginning, and I felt like that was not good. So don't do this. Be comparing Brazilian culture and American culture the whole time.
Right.
Like, oh, this is better in Brazil. This is better in Brazil. And like,
Yeah.
I say like comparing, but saying that it's better in Brazil.
Hmm.
It's good to be critical, but we have to try to understand other points of view and be open to new ideas.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like I told you, that cultural shock, like, oh, it's so much better in Brazil because
Yeah.
you don't have to go to work. If I mean, it doesn't snow like
Yeah.
that in Brazil, but I don't know if we had like a
Right.
storm or
If
something.
it
They
rains
say,
a lot, yeah.
yeah, if it rains a lot, you could just stay home.
Hmm.
Or, you know, I don't
Yeah.
know. In Brazil, you can have like a month vacation, or
Yeah.
women, and they have babies. I think they have like, is it 6 months?
6 months, like
Yeah, six
probably, yeah.
months.
That's like
Yeah,
normal.
yeah. And I'd be like, ah, it's so much better in Brazil. And then I'm like, this is not doing any good. Like,
Right, right. I think
yeah.
that's I think there's like 5 stages of culture shock or something. And I
Oh,
think that's one of them, like being kind of angry or like hating everything about the culture you're living in.
okay. Oh, that
I don't
makes
know. I would
sense.
have to yeah, I would have to look it up again, but I think I've read that before. And
Oh,
so it's like just a phase you go through and it's normal, but you know, you just have to get through it and like you said, try not to think that everything is negative, you know, or
yeah.
everything's better in your country. Of course you feel homesick, you know,
Yeah.
but especially if you're planning to live in another country for a long time, you know, you kind of have to get over those
Yes.
feelings somehow, you know, like,
Yeah.
so I think your advice
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I think, yeah, those were the things I could think of.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's awesome. So, is there anything else you want to tell us about you? I don't know.
Um, well, let me think. No, I'm actually just very happy to, to talk to you about my
Yeah.
cultural experience because,
Uh-huh.
yeah, like I told you before, it made me reflect a lot.
That's so good.
And yeah, I don't know. It gave me some ideas for my videos too.
Yay. I think
Yeah.
I think it's good too because honestly, I wish I would have when I was living in Brazil, I wish I would have, you know, thought about these things more and like
Hmm.
kept a journal or something, you know, because
Yeah.
I don't remember everything that I went through. So,
Yeah.
I kind of miss
Exactly.
it, but yeah. I think it's good to always like look back and see how far you've come already. You know, you've
Hmm.
only been here for
Yeah.
months,
Yes.
but you learned so much already.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I was telling my husband the other day that I feel so much better now. It's been like almost 5 months. And I'm like, I'm not an outsider because
Right.
everything's different, like
Hmm.
everything, like the language, people, even like
Yeah.
things in the house. And I'd be
Yeah.
like, how do you open the shower? I don't know.
Even like closing the doors or closing the
Yeah.
windows, you know, like I know it's not common for in Brazil, like nobody closes the door, you know, like you leave the door open or you leave the windows open.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
yeah. And yeah, I came here in the winter and it would take me forever, to put on all the layers and
right. Yeah.
yeah, and everybody's like, "Are you ready, Natalie? Wait a minute, I don't know. How do I look?" I feel like I don't know, like, oh, I
A
have,
blimp.
yeah,
Like you
like
feel
I
so big in all the clothes that you
exactly,
have. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and walking like on the snow and like
Yeah.
ice. Oh
Mhm.
yeah, that was tough.
I can imagine. I
Yeah.
think it is. It definitely is.
Hmm.
I'm so happy you were able to talk to me today.
Oh yeah,
Thank
sure.
you.
Yeah, we need to do this some other time, and you